welcome back to another episode of Bone Apple Tea. This week we get to sit down with Scooped Up yet again. All three of them this time.
Yeah.
Leo decided to make an appearance.
No, actually, I think it was Jesse this time.
Oh, was it? That's true.
Oh, that's okay. It's,
it's cool.
You forgot
I'm
Leo, but
actually
that's fine.
concussed and just got into it.
No, don't do it again. He's concussed. It's all good.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I can
we
barely
got Jimmy,
see
the
straight
director,
right now.
here telling us how to run the show.
Jimmy, get the hell out. Jimmy books one tour and now he's all fucking suits on
hold
us.
up. Cut.
Yeah. Where's
the gaffer? Adjust the light.
Where's your suit and tie, dude? Stiff. Anyways, So obviously they just, well, not obvious, but they about to release an album or just released an album. So we talk all about the basically the album process that has basically been going on for like 4 years now, the recording process. Yeah. So kind of like the difficulties associated with it and, you know, what took so long. It's called The Runs. It's awesome. You've probably seen the videos. If you haven't, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yep, go check it out. Come on
now. So, I mean, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, that's it. It's a fun time and enjoy. Realistically, like in what way is he actually tearing apart bands?
You just told
just like
criticism.
YouTube.
Yeah. Oh wait, was that the one? Remember, like a while ago, you had posted like I think the dyslexic music video, and this guy gave like feedback and said it was like way over limited or something like that, and the cymbals were too loud.
Oh yeah, that's not what we're talking about. But yeah, that happened.
Okay, actually what's
Thanks
funny?
For bringing that up.
What's funny is like
I was sleep over that.
No, like that. What was great about it is it served for good feedback for me for when it came to time to actually mix the full album because I took all of that into consideration. When doing the newest mixes, which is like what's just like for me,
very
like
respectable of you.
Yeah, of course. Well, because like like it's a fresh set of ears. This guy doesn't know me or care about me.
Yeah.
So like I actually do respect that opinion because it's like he's just a set of fresh ears that's like actually critical. So that's like what I think is actually kind of cool is like if anyone is hearing or has heard your guys' singles before, it's actually good to get the album because the album has been completely remixed. And remastered to sound like way better, in my opinion.
No, yeah. It's like night and day almost, especially the cymbals, like you said when you went back.
Dude, the cymbals were huge. I think that was one thing that like some of those earlier sounds where like you'd put it in a car and it was like really piercing. You know, like it was like, and I think you would even mention that you were like, my buddy was in the car and like he said the cymbals hurt his ears.
Dad.
Oh, your dad?
My dad picks apart our shit. Like,
that's good though.
Yeah,
you need people like that because if you're surrounded by a bunch of people that are just like, oh yeah, everything you do is awesome, then like
we don't want a bunch of yes men. We obviously don't like rip us a new one all the time, but
be gentle.
Any objective criticism we'll take. I like that more than like someone just sucking our dick.
Sipping
for us.
You know what? I agree with that.
But also, suck our dick too.
Yeah, please do. Don't
that sounds pretty sweet.
Also, I do apologize, guys. This is the first time we've ever done like a 5-person podcast, so the setup is very
history.
Yeah, we definitely don't have the space to do this. So I'm like looking at Leo like cutting the knife here between two cameras. And like it's so funny. You guys are gonna see me like boop, boop. I'm gonna be going all around, like trying to actually get the cameras to be turned back on again. But I got a timer here, so we should be good to go.
I'm just glad I don't have to move my neck. You guys are in like the perfect spot.
Yeah. So I mean, Adam, you almost died.
Dude, can I also say that guy's Uber was fucking disgusing? Like there were like 4 or 5 different stains on the on the seat when I got in, and I was like, oh. And he's like, yeah, I don't have 4-wheel drive or anything. I was like, dude, I just got into like a serious accident. And I did have all-wheel drive. Yeah, and whatever. I sat in his car and it just smelled weird, and there was like little trees like everywhere in the car, dude. Like,
he's really trying. See, that's when you just get a car clean. You can go get a professional cleaning. It's not that expensive.
Yeah, it's like
time
the great
and money
value
though.
version of Uber.
Yeah, the guy's like, I Uber.
Great value.
I realize it's still coming out of the speakers, so I'm actually gonna. Is that distracting you guys at all?
I don't hear it.
You don't
if
hear
it's
it?
distracting you, then turn it off. We could do it like an official intro too after that.
Yeah. Cameras are still rolling though, so you guys can feel free to just talk.
Well, here, just cut it out. Cut there, and then start here. We already addressed. We can't address the
backseat podcast.
You can't break the third wall. Dude.
Let it be what it is.
I break it all the time. See, I'm staring at my camera right now.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Don't look at the camera, dude. That's breaking the wall.
Yeah, that's breaking the wall.
The fourth wall.
This is supposed to be a movie, I thought.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're definitely following the 180 rule right now. That's for sure.
We need intros anyways.
But yeah, well, dude, so it's been a long time since we've had Scooped Up on the podcast. Mainly just Jimmy was here last time.
Yeah,
I think,
that's true.
Wait, was Leo, did you do one?
We did one like a month before the pandemic happened.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 2019, like back in the old house.
Before we entered the
Yeah,
paradigm.
sorry, his camera's right in
back
your
in the
face.
old house. Yeah.
Yeah, that was right after
table.
that EP, High Tri Sample that we worked on.
Oh,
and we were
yeah.
like super stoked and ambitious about the next album. We're like, yo, we got so much done. We're going to get this thing done quick. And then 4 years later, here we are.
Yeah.
But, you know,
well,
it's
like, so for people that don't know, because I think this is kind of like, you know, probably fun for some people because they just see an album come out and they probably assume like, oh, they've just been kind of working on it. But they might not realize it's been in my computer file. This album that just dropped was called Summer 2020 Album as a reference file. So, yeah, I don't know, maybe walk through, like, you know, you guys can kind of chat
That's
a little
funny.
bit.
It turned into a joke too, where like we kept moving the goalposts. It'd be like, yeah, 2024, 2025. Like,
Yeah. Well, because I even remember in
But now it's
22,
out.
I thought it was going to be done by 2023.
yeah.
And
we all did.
which I guess technically it was completed in 2023.
I think the
but-
writing of it, or you mean the recording of it?
Yeah, like recording.
well, it definitely was in 2022.
Yeah, by like I think I had shipped off everything to you guys by like the mid 2023, maybe like the August September-ish
I
area.
want to say we finished writing it at the end of like 2022 or maybe the beginning of 2023.
Yeah.
I can't really remember. But
And all the
last
tracks
song,
have names now.
Yeah. Oh, I know. We did that last second. The last song written was Slingshot. I can't remember when that was, but
That
it
was
was
That was end of 22.
2022.
Yeah.
I think it probably was, but
Going
we,
into
we
23.
probably had it ready months later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got it, we finished it, and then we had to like work on it for a couple months to get it tight before we recorded it. So
Yeah.
it's hard to remember when we had it finished, but
Yeah. Well, I think it's funny because it benefited, I think, in two ways. So number one was you guys wanted to take time to actually like write new songs. And I remember Jimmy telling me like, I don't want to write quarantine songs. I want to write songs that are still within our genre that are like upbeat. And like, I feel like if I start writing now, it's going to be all like sad stuff. I don't want to do that.
that's exactly what happened. Yeah, COVID definitely it was the worst time because I was in the middle of writing the rest of this album, and then it was just bad vibes all around.
Yeah, yeah. And so I think it benefited you guys in a big way because you guys got to take the time to write new songs, whereby getting better as a band.
Mhm.
And then number two, not even anything in your control, but on my end, is that I was getting better throughout the time. So every mix and remix of these songs that I did, it was just slowly getting better and better. And then by the time we get to the album part, it's like, oh, like I would listen back to a mix from like 2020 and be like, holy shit, who is this person mixing this? You know, just being critical of myself.
No,
Yeah,
that's
I
great.
get
That's
that.
good.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like there's positives and negatives for sure for having a project like kind of take that long.
Right.
Because like there's certain aspects to it where like there's a few songs like we don't really play much anymore that we kind of wrote back in like 2019.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that we're just kind of like not like sick of it, but it's just like I don't know. I feel like our like sound and everything has changed so much since the beginning of us writing this album that it's like some of the songs it feels like they don't fit.
Yeah, almost like a
our
separate
set
album.
all the time. Yeah.
Right.
Where,
Okay.
but now it's like now that it's out and it's been out for a few days now, and we're seeing kind of like what songs are getting like more attention than other ones that we didn't really know how that was going to pan out. Now it's like there's a couple on there. We're like, oh, we have to like kind of relearn how to play those songs or like
Now that people like
really?
them.
rework them a little bit to make them to where we feel like more comfortable playing them. You know, because people like them so much. you
Right.
know?
Yeah, there was two that we were almost not going to put on the album. It was Slacker and Skip Day. Like we were going to take those
People
off.
really like those.
Oh, yeah.
Skip Day ended up being one of the ones that people really liked. Slacker, I think too. But yeah, we almost took those off, and then we decided to put them back on just to make the album a little longer because it's not even 30 minutes long. And,
Yeah.
and those songs are still decent enough that we were like, you know, like it lengthens the experience, makes it, you know, you get a more fuller album. And
Yeah, and I think a piece of you probably looks at those as lesser songs because you've had them for so long. Whereas like a new listener, it's still new to them.
yeah, exactly.
So nothing
Yeah.
feels like it's got an age on it, you know?
And even like I just the other day I listened to our vinyl like all the way through, and if some of those songs I'm like I feel like I'm listening to this for the first time. So that's kind of cool too because we've been playing some of these songs for so long and working on them for so long that they did kind of like not like just kind of get a little old and stale at times.
Yeah, and you're listening to it in a more surgical way.
Yeah.
You're listening for mistakes. You're not listening for enjoyment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. And now I can kind of listen to it just as what it is, you know, and it's like I don't know. It kind of makes me more excited about some of these older songs that
Yeah.
I wasn't really that excited about.
Yeah, especially hearing people's like reaction to them when we thought they were just like, extra songs that we're just gonna fill it up with, and people were actually gravitating towards those. It's like, oh, sick.
Yeah, it's
I
like
can't imagine the fatigue you get listening to a song, even just mixing it. But you guys are also there playing it over and over and over again. And dude, I'm downstairs and I hear it upstairs. I'm like, fuck, I know every word to this song 1,000 times. And then a year, 2 years goes by and you hear it and you're like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. For me, it was like on the actual album drop day. I was so excited because I hadn't heard the final, because I went to
that's right.
Where'd it go to for mastering?
Adjian.
Yeah, for what's his Rogue Planet?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went to Rogue Planet and he does kind of like the final polish on it. And I hadn't heard the songs with the final polish in months.
And was that your first time hearing the track list?
Front to back, yes. Yeah. It was I was so used to hearing song 1, song 2, song 3. And then I don't even think you didn't order them that way at all.
It's mixed up. So in the beginning, or when we first started putting the track list together, like the order, it all we had some stables that just fell right into place. In the beginning, I knew I wanted Dyslexic second because I wanted to just go right into another song, because Dyslexic there's no intro. It just goes right into every instrument and lyrics all at once.
Yeah.
So like right when Reruns ends, it goes right into that. And there's albums that I like that kind of do that. So that's why I wanted to do that. And then also with Lightheaded, that we all agree that would be like the ender. And then like certain songs had certain vibes where they found their place. And literally like the first rendition of the track list was the track list. So yeah,
that's
it literally
sweet.
stuck. Yeah.
It was actually kind of cool is I when I was listening to it, and remind me because I know the song is song numbers here, but the acoustic song that's just acoustic.
Oh yeah, Bummer.
Yeah, so Bummer. When the song came on, as I'm listening to it, I was like, oh, it's the end of the album. This is kind of a cool way to end the album because a lot of people do that. Mm-hmm. And then the next song played and I was like, oh shit, they have a little cherry on top kind of like feel to it.
You know what's crazy that we didn't even really try to do necessarily is that like, especially on the vinyl, is the side A is a different vibe than side B pretty much. Like as soon as side B
Drake
starts.
moment here.
Yeah, kind of. It starts with Foolproof, which is that slower, more song 9. Which is, it's like more of like a sadder song or melancholy or whatever. And from there, it just like the album gets like more emo or whatever. I don't know. It's more moody. It's a different mood. But then at the end, it all comes back with Lightheaded. Like it's got like this like slower like intro, but then it comes back full on with like this sick, catchy melodic chorus. And then the album starts over and it's pop rock again.
Both vibes in one song to wrap it all up.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's funny that you mentioned like it starting over because like I was just driving somewhere and I just put it on in my car to just listen to front to back, just to, appreciate like, all right, it's out and we fucking did it, It
has good replayability.
And so it did that. It looped and I was like, yeah, I'll just leave it on again, Like I really did.
And it's such a quick and easy listen because it's 27 minutes.
Yes.
And the songs are so short, it's in and
28.
out.
Yeah.
28 minutes almost, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's 3 seconds less.
But even like for Spotify with like streaming in general, it's better to have like slightly shorter songs in general.
Oh, yeah.
Me personally too. It's like you just have that shit on repeat.
That's why we do it like that.
Yeah.
So now, if you're just hearing about Scooped Up for the first time, Scooped Up is also known very much for doing their own music videos completely. Mm-hmm. So how's that been kind of like, you've been shooting all these videos all along and you just released the newest one.
Yeah, for Joyride.
Joyride. And that is another one that's all on 16 millimeter, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did you film the part where you throw the disc out the window? And then because like I could imagine doing this with a GoPro or with an advanced technology, but I'm picturing like a 16 millimeter camera. Mm-hmm. How did you do the whole like it's on
there?
Yeah, and then also like was it a string? Like how'd you get the disc to like fly into the?
All right, I'll go into. You should play the clip when I explain it a little bit.
Yeah, I could do that
so people can understand.
Yeah.
But so I taped the CD onto like a ruler, and then I taped the ruler onto the bottom of the 16 millimeter camera so that the CD was right there in the foreground. And that was the shot that I had was in my head of like this CD flying through the air, and like the camera's like it's like first person of the CD or whatever. You know what I mean? The camera's attached to the CD, goes into someone's car, and then into their CD player. Before that, I throw it out the window like a frisbee, and it just lands into my friend's CD player and starts playing. So I was like, the way to pull that off is I put it on the ruler and taped it to the camera. But then when I filmed the shot and everything, the CD was shaking like this throughout the shot.
Yeah.
So then I had to take a freeze frame of just the CD there, and then I cut it out and just put that there. So all you're seeing is a freeze frame. And then when the lighting changes, I do a couple different frames of the CD. Then I added grain to that, so it matches the grain of the film.
Whoa.
So yeah, like you'll notice it now if you look at it, but it's it works because you're looking at the video and not the CD.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
see the
a little bit of
CDs there,
distraction, so you don't
and
really,
your focus is on like where the CD is going and not the actual CD. Where if you look closer, you can see that how I edited it or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, so then once it goes into the CD thing, I was just in the back of my friend's car filming it on a tripod. And since the camera doesn't move, I can like edit things like, so I take a clean slate of the whole CD player and everything with him not moving or whatever. And I use that as the background. Then I had him hold the CD like this with his hand and kind of just like guide it into the CD player. And then I edited out his hand and used the clean slate to cover it up.
What?
You know? And so as long as his fingers weren't covering any
Sounds
part of
so
the CD,
tedious.
yeah.
as long as there was nothing that was like obstructing the actual full CD that I wanted to be seen, then it worked fine.
It's like mask it. and,
Holy
like, rush
shit,
out.
dude.
Yeah, and it came out so smooth, and I
No,
loved
it
the way
did.
that
No,
shot.
it looks
did.
great.
It looks
Yeah.
really,
It
really
looked
good.
Amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for asking.
That's
It
so
was
funny.
a cool one.
Yeah, no, because like I pick up on certain things like that where I'm like, how the heck did he even like accomplish that? Because with 16 millimeter film, like again, like it's not exactly like a very movable camera. You know what I mean? Like it's not like something you could put on. I mean, I guess you could put it on like a rig of some kind, but
Yeah, well, that and like you have to hold the button. Well, you either have to hold the button or you have to go out and like click it so it sticks in. So the button. And then
Yeah,
you roll
that's
and film.
right.
The little trigger.
So all the
thing.
shots we had where the camera was like stuck to the car and we're like driving around, we had to like stop, hit the button, it's rolling. I'm like, jump in the car, start
Yeah.
driving, like wasting film just to get the shot. You know what I mean?
And
Yeah.
so
there's a lot
like
of
3 minutes or something on those tapes.
yeah,
or
2.5
5
minutes. At 24 frames a second, it's 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
And we did,
Wow.
I think we did 4 rolls of film for that.
Dude, how long did it take to get that developed? Because I feel like it takes
It
forever.
doesn't take forever. I used to think it took a long time, like, or maybe the first time I ever did it used to take longer, but it takes maybe like 2 to 3 weeks to get it back.
Oh, okay.
that's
not
actually
terrible.
not bad. I feel like the services are probably
It's like a
Going
week
up.
You gotta mail
turnaround.
it out usually. I don't know. Like
Yeah,
not
you
a lot of
mail
places do
mail
it.
it to California. So however long it takes to get there, and then like I started paying for cheaper or more expensive shipping to get it there in 2 days or 1 day to make it faster. And it's usually like a week or 2 week turnaround.
Okay, it's not terrible. I feel
It's
like
not.
I like with the first time I called because I have a couple. Just because I have might even be the same Canon camera.
What?
Because I have a 16 mil camera. It's I can't remember exactly what
A
the
motion
model
picture
number is.
camera or a 35 millimeter camera?
No, sorry, 35. What did I say?
Okay,
16?
yeah,
No,
yeah, you
30
said-
yeah.
No. Okay, yeah. I have a Minolta that I use for 35
Okay.
for snapshot cameras. The 16 millimeter that I use is it's a Bolex. It's
okay,
a
interesting. I'll have to show
Switzerland
you.
camera. Yeah, show me.
Yeah. But
now
like,
I'm curious though, and I don't know if you wanted to keep going on that, but I was curious. Has he ever brought a music video idea to you guys, and you're like, I mean, maybe, like, or are you just like, because like, okay, here's like another one, Best Days. Okay,
Mhm.
he's like, hey, let's get everyone in the back of my van, and we're gonna drive the van while we play. And all of you guys are like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Well, yeah, in hindsight, it sounded cool, but until you actually get in the van, I was like, what did I sign up for?
It was a very
Dude, that
uncomfortable
video-
shoot.
I will say,
I mean, look, it came out looking crazy.
Yeah.
yeah.
we've all known each other for so long. Like it really is like a brotherhood. It's all love, you know. We've definitely, been like, I don't know about this, and then like we maybe have to like go back to the drawing board, or he convinces us to just be like, let's just try it, and then sometimes it does work out. And it's cool. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that was the case with go ahead.
No, I was about to say, when we were like actually filming, it did feel pretty tedious. It was a long day, but looking back, it was definitely one of the best video ideas we had to date. And
It was the most ambitious video we've made.
yeah.
Dude, absolutely. I mean, like that's the thing is like a lot of people when they shoot, and to you guys' credit, I think one of the most unique things you do is your music videos because you get a lot of people these days where it's like, all right, let's get the band set up. We're gonna take some band shots. We're gonna do some B-roll, and like there's our video. Or like they'll shoot it against a white background, and like and I just find those videos so boring when there's nothing of substance to it.
We try to outdo ourselves every time almost. That's
Yeah.
why we're like shooting on film now.
Yeah.
That was always a dream of mine. Ever since we started making content, like we started shooting all of our pictures on film. So I was always like, I would love to do a video on film. And like once I found out that all the cool looks that I've been attracted or trying to like emulate was just straight up
It's like
film.
a film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 35 millimeter cameras and
Yeah.
whatever. So now that we're doing it, it's so sick.
That's
The
awesome.
colors and the grain, like everything just looks really cool.
It's timeless.
Yeah.
You can't stick a decade onto what it looks like really. I mean, you could say it looks like the 70s or the 80s or whatever, or like, you know what I mean? Like, if
but it just looks like 16
I see
millimeter
what you're
film.
saying.
Exactly,
it always
yeah.
looks good.
Yeah,
You're
it
never
does.
like, man, that was tacky. I can't believe we were doing that back then. It just
Yeah.
always
Well, if
looks
you
good.
say you shot a music video with one of these cameras, you can tell that it was from 2017 or whatever.
Yeah, like
2016.
there's like a 2010 stamp on it because of the
Exactly.
digital capabilities of the time.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I get that. That's cool though. That's really cool. Do you have like, as crazy of a question as it is, because you guys put out so much music video content, but are there more music videos coming?
Yes.
There's always more music videos.
Yeah, that's a big.
It's never ending.
To go back to your question about like them,
Whether or
like,
not we want it or not.
Okay, here we
to
go.
go back to your question about
There's
asking
more.
like how they feel about my ideas, music video ideas, I'm always like, yo, we need to make another video, and they're like, come on, we made so many already. I'm like, yeah, well, it never ends. We got to keep doing.
never
We have
ends.
so many singles.
It almost
really
doubles as
never
just
ends.
like
Yeah.
entertaining content. Like aside from like a music video, just like, like even if you're just like you just go onto your page and you're just like, oh, I kind of want to watch like a funny ass video or something entertaining. It's kind of like, it doubles as like a meme
It's a whole
almost.
nother layer. It brings the songs to life completely, and that's why I really
100%.
like doing it. And like, especially for all of our like best songs, or at least my favorite ones, I would like to do a video or make them all come to life, and that's by making a video.
Like you probably attract the demographic of people that like maybe weren't even going to go and like listen to your album initially, but then they just see the video and they're like, oh, this is fucking
Or
funny,
like our funny
you know?
ads. Like that's why like I make all these funny ads and just I make a fool of myself all the time. But it gets a lot of people.
dude.
It gets
I'm
me,
sure.
dude.
This
Yeah.
whole podcast is a funny ad, by the way.
Yeah.
Boom.
Scooped-up.pan.com.
I think we need to do like a part 2 of Dyslexic.
Yeah,
we
one
make
day.
we make this joke a lot. Like we get robbed at the end, right? So the guy steals pancakes from us, and then, like
Yeah.
we're just like, "Whew, glad that's over, but like we
Mhm.
still got robbed.
I
Yeah,
have-
yeah.
I
And I'm just like, so there's got to be
We
some
need our
like,
revenge.
payback.
I have
Yeah,
a half-baked
Dyslexic part
idea
2.
for that, and we're gonna do it eventually. I just have to like figure it all out, but it'll have to do with like that. Our friend Mason, who robbed us for the pancakes, it'll be like him returning the pancakes to like a mobster, and he's like, "I told you to get money, not pancakes."
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Give me the stacks.
Yeah, and then like just like I want to do a Quentin Tarantino music video where it's just like a bunch of mobsters and shit, and we get like I don't know.
Oh,
Just
dude,
whatever,
someone's
just
ear
gets
off.
whatever your
outrageous.
imagination can make of that. That's what I want to do.
Oh, dude, that would be amazing.
Turn into a
Can I
whole
be in that
movie.
one?
Yeah,
Like
you could.
fake blood flying
What's the one that
everywhere.
I'm in? Oh, I'm in Best Days for a
You're in
hot
Best
second,
Days.
right? I grabbed the newspaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You
That's
would
funny.
make a good mobster, maybe.
Yeah,
Or like
yeah.
or like a thug or some shit. Whatever, a bouncer. I don't fucking know. Something.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Some
We'll
type
figure it
of
out.
muscle.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in like a 80s gangster movie that shoots in like this summer.
Oh, well, there you go.
So,
Now you get in practice.
Sure we could arrange something.
Sick.
So as far as like if we like rewind a little,
Oh, but the music video, we have some music video coming out. We have one that's gonna be like compilation footage of a bunch of stuff we've just collected. Then another one we have shot that like it's just like us performing, and then we gotta figure out, we gotta edit the second half of it. Like, it's not gonna just be us performing.
okay.
It'll be like some other shit. So that's coming out too. And then we plan to do like one more actual music video with like a script and shit.
Oh, cool.
So
Oh, nice.
that'll be
Okay.
Awesome.
that'll be like the last thing to cap off the album, like before we start working on the next stuff. you
Next
know?
one. Yeah.
Mhm.
So throughout these years of like actually putting this album together, what's been like either like highlights, frustrations, or like, kind of moments for you guys that like you had to either really work through or was like both like synchronistic, like you all agreed, everything was awesome, this is great. You know what I mean? Like there's things that come up that you're like are both like challenges and they're like, oh no, this is great.
I mean, like the past 4 years, like had a lot. There's obviously a lot of external factors that influenced me. For instance, went from being like pretty gung ho about like recording and writing for the album before the pandemic, and then just like, wondering if live shows are going to be a thing anymore.
Mm.
And then like, I guess maybe not being entirely on the same page here and there. Like, yeah, we don't want to write songs that are related to the pandemic, being like
Mhm.
isolated and stuff like that. Like Jimmy was saying.
Everyone was doing that at the time too.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
it gets kind of corny and like it's extremely dated, right? Like
Mhm.
I don't know, like
I think the less that we put in like things from the real world into our music, like like events or like this or you know what I mean. I feel like it's better off. You're just better off.
Totally.
Staying out.
Yeah, we're not a political
it's like we
band.
have like a scooped up universe and like this is kind of what we have our themes and everything. We stick to this. Like it's like the MCU, you know.
It's kind of true though, because it's almost like, you know, like, okay, you watch like an episode of Family Guy from back in the day and they reference some person. I'm like, I don't even know who that is. You know what I mean? Because like it's
I feel like we stay away from that. And
that's smart.
I like it. I like it that way.
Yeah, no, I think that's better too because like I don't know, that's not really like your type of band either.
Yeah.
Like I feel like people will listen to your music to have a good time and to escape a lot of that.
Yeah, we try to make
you
like
know?
feel good music, you know, happy stuff.
Yeah.
But it keeps it timeless too, you know?
Yeah, that's
the
it.
same
Well,
thing.
I like to keep the lyrics kind of vague in a way where you can interpret it in multiple different ways and it doesn't single anybody out. You know what I mean? Like I remember Blank made a song where he's just like one of the words was like a helicopter, and I'm like, why is he singing about a helicopter? I forget what song it was, but I remember that just like stuck out to me, and I'm just like, what is this? So I try not to put helicopters in my songs or like or anything
That's
like
a good
that.
move. That's a good move. That was actually my follow-up question.
Is the answer helicopter?
I forget the line, but it's like something like a
Travis doesn't like
helicopter.
I would just avoid
aircrafts or
transportation in
anything.
general.
That's true.
He doesn't like planes and hell.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But as far as
that's
synchronicity,
crazy
like you
also.
asked,
like
I
that whole
think-
thing was fucking nuts.
I think what we really synchronized with was like the track list, like I said. And then like once it came down to finally agreeing on we're going to go with the runs, I think that fell into place real quick. Because there was a long time where we were literally just throwing around ideas for months. It was the one thing that we had left that was holding us back from like starting the release was coming up with a name and an album.
Names for things were definitely some of
The songs
some of the
long.
roughest like trials of the album.
The songs finally came, but it was the album name that we really kicked around with a ton of ideas.
Dude, it's tough because like
What
I
were-
don't
what
know,
were
if it
the
just
some of
doesn't
the-
feel right. You just don't want to.
You want to hear some ideas?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Could you hit us
For
with
album
some?
names?
Yeah, like what
Yeah.
else? What
Backups.
didn't make the cut?
I liked Dumbass Again.
I wanted.
It was going to be Dumbass Again.
No.
Save that.
I
Save
wanted
that.
Al's bum. That was
Yeah.
that was an idea.
What was
it? My wife came up. Al's bum.
Al's bum.
Ow's bum?
Al's bum.
Al's
Like
bum.
album.
Oh.
Like
Al's
album.
bum.
Oh,
And
my
it would just be like the
God.
cover would just be like a fat hairy butt. Like butt crack.
That's
like
pretty
that.
good. That's pretty good.
And I really like. There's a really stupid one.
There was also Don't Wipe, and we ended up just naming a song that.
yeah, that's gonna be our next single.
Okay, it's Don't Wipe.
What
yeah,
was
yeah.
it?
Is that like a
Killer-
bidet positive song?
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually, I was
Yeah.
gonna bring that up.
Don't
Yeah.
say
Be
that
the
one. We might
album
use that
cover.
one still.
What? What's that?
The other one, yeah.
All right, whatever.
We want to. It'd be a surprise. It'd be cool.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, we're
alright.
So with our new single that we're gonna be coming out with, shortly ish, whenever this time, like sometime this year, we're starting a campaign to stop people from wiping. We don't want people wiping anymore.
Yeah, we gave you the runs. Now don't
Yeah.
wipe that shit.
Yeah.
So we really want an endorsement from bidet.
I was in your bathroom and I noticed.
Tushy, dude.
I noticed the bidet.
Oh hell
Yeah.
yeah, dude!
Yeah.
We're we poop like kings in this house.
So you guys probably don't wipe here, right?
Yeah,
I
we
mean, like
don't-
the only wiping
no
that happens
wiping
is just to
going on.
dry. Do you know what I mean? So
Oh,
like,
what?
Don't let him tell you.
No,
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 try
wait,
to
don't
convince
wipe.
you
No,
he
no. Listen.
wipes.
See, we want to stop you from even doing that.
Yeah.
okay, like no
wiping
drying,
at
no,
all.
No one
wiping
should be
ever.
touching their butt,
No, that's
even if there's
weird.
paper between.
Yeah, I mean,
Weird.
well, like, what do you do in the shower?
Huh?
You don't wipe.
Dude, what are you doing?
You
You're
don't,
touching your butt in the
okay.
shower?
I mean, like, you gotta
Wait,
clean
hold on.
yourself,
That's
right?
disgusting.
Oh, you let
Huh?
water. Wait, you guys
horrible.
let water run down your butt cracks? Like
You
some
let water-
animals?
You shower? What
Some
the
wild
fuck?
animals?
No, we have a high
What is
pressure
your butthole
hose
wet
that
right now?
actually blasts it straight
So
into my butt crack.
It's located on the bottom of the shower. We have bottom showering. Where does this go? Where does this go? Actually,
yeah.
I think I need to restart the cameras.
Oh yeah, good. Do that. Yeah.
That's true,
So yeah,
that's
don't
true.
wipe is a thing we're working on. It's like our next thing. That's
It's the next political
Don't wipe
campaign that we're working
2024.
on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't wipe 2024. I guess.
All right, I'll spread the word.
Vote for not
We'll probably
wiping.
get some looks though. We're going to work tomorrow.
that was
and
the
tell
only
everybody, hey
topic
guys,
I wanted to bring up to derail the podcast.
we're not wiping this year.
This dude's a train conductor over here.
Yeah. Woo. All right. Now everything's back on again.
All right.
That's a thing.
get that
It was
guy?
all off. We didn't get any of that.
No, yeah, we got none of
We
that.
gotta
So
start
we're gonna have
over
to
from the
restart.
beginning.
So Randy, you're a drummer.
Yep.
How does
You want to join the band?
No.
There's an opening.
yeah. So how does you being a drummer change how maybe you would like tackle the drums that you recorded on our album?
Well, my biggest issue with let's like recording in general that I really have to prevent myself from doing is emphasizing drums too much. So like, that was why
So
like
all this money I've been sliding you on the side was for nothing?
yeah. Which like even it's funny, even at times I'm like, is the kick too loud in this mix? Because I'll hear something by like Chris Lord Algae And I'm like, he really buries his kicks. Unless you listen to my favorite recording of his, which is the American Idiot album. I think the drums are actually huge in that particular one.
Mm-hmm.
But lately, like, I don't know, have you heard Green
album.
Day's newest single?
Yeah, which one?
I'd have to look it up.
I have heard it though, yeah.
Yeah, but I thought the kick sounded almost like hollow to me. Like it didn't have a lot of low end like it typically does. But when it comes to, and that's just like, how can I criticize Chris Algae? He's the best. But and when it comes to that, I have to remember that like guitars have to be really loud. And I also don't like particularly burying the vocals. So I usually like vocals and guitars are kind of what I tried to emphasize as much as possible in this particular mix.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was going to say the drums sound fucking kicking.
Man. Thanks, dude. Yeah, it was. And that was the biggest struggle too, was that because we technically recorded this in two separate like studios, if you will, or two separate houses because we had moved. The biggest struggle for me was getting the whole album to sound like it belonged together. Because it was two very
did a good job.
Like you could tell like before I did a lot of my like work, you could tell like, oh, this was a song recorded in New London and this was the song recorded in Stonington.
True. That's why side B sounds different.
Yeah.
That's why it's sadder.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Two different houses, two different tones.
London.
Yeah, I mean, how do you guys perceive it now? Being sort of like hearing it out and stuff, like like how's it sort of like kicking in your speakers?
Well, I think Jesse was the first one to point out the whole difference between side 1 and side 2 for vinyl. Like the first one being more happy and upbeat, and the second one being more melancholy and aggressive. I'm definitely a stan of side 2 or side B a little more. So it's very interesting to look at it that way.
That was just like kind of by chance. Just kind of work.
Yeah, that's just how it worked.
Well,
that's just how like those songs just happen to be that way. So they belonged naturally towards the end of the album. Like especially Foolproof was just like a different one. The acoustic song used to be like towards the end more, and then just like the rest of them just fell into place kind of that way.
I don't think we really had anything like in particular that we were going for when we were doing the track listing. We just were like, I don't know. We just kind of
but the
got
fact
that one and it stuck.
And it just kind of worked out.
Yeah. The fact that it ended up that way, I think, is all the more sicker.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we like to always start our albums like like really punching. Like all the really good stuff. You should, if you have like a really standout song, you should put that one at 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. So that people listen to the rest of the album. So that's why we stuck like a good amount of our singles there. And like Slingshot is another single of ours that we didn't get released as a single, but we're probably going to do a video for that.
Okay,
and so
cool.
like that we stuck in the beginning, and then the rest of them fell into place, and they all complement each other in that sense.
What was like the most popular song on the album, you think?
It differs.
A lot of people to tell though too, because we released like 4 songs.
4 songs
we released
before
the album. Yeah, and then music video for Joyride with the release. So
people are naturally gonna pick like songs that weren't released already to be like their favorite because it's all new and stuff.
Yeah,
so people are gravitating towards like Foolproof and Slingshot, and like some people like Bummer, or some people like Skip Day, and like all these songs that like we didn't like. We liked them all obviously, but they weren't like the hits, or I
think in the next like few months we'll have a better idea.
Have you guys? But you guys have played like most of these at shows, I would imagine. Like everything on the.
Yeah, we've played them all for years.
What's like the biggest crowd response, you think?
Well, everyone really likes Best Days because that's been out the longest.
Guess,
so everyone knows the words. But I think the biggest crowd response to a song that they didn't know was Slingshot, because that one just goes hard. Like especially like everyone moshes to that shit. So now that people know the words to that, I think it's gonna go even harder.
But that's another thing too, is because there was a couple songs that we just don't really play too much or at all really live.
Yeah, so like I'm sure song 1 would go hard live.
Yeah, so like it's hard to even know what that crowd reaction is gonna be like for a few of these songs.
Song 1 is Crash Test.
But now I think we're gonna kind of have to revisit like our live set list.
Kind of play some of the ones you weren't expecting that like people were going to respond so well to.
Foolproof, I think.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, because we were kind of chatting about that.
And that's
a little
like
bit.
One of my favorites too.
Yeah, and like it's funny too. That was a sneaky one that kind of got me too. Is like, so it surprised me because I remember when we were talking like about the album and making songs. Like I was like, we had a conversation about how like it's important to try and make some that are like noticeably unique compared to like that typical album 1 scooped up sound. And I think
that was like my main thing, was to just change. Like I felt like album 1 was very like plain, like not a lot of thought put into a lot of the lyrics or the ideas or whatever. So I wanted to really just make this album like just more everything, like more melodic, just better, all around and different. Like that's why we have the acoustic song, whatever. and Foolproof and stuff. And yeah, so I think we pulled that off for sure. You know, it's a lot different than the first album.
I also think there is something to be said about like a song that starts as just like a tom heavy drum beat. I mean, that's coming as like from a drummer. But like
the Strokes just put out one of they put out an album when we were writing that song, and that actually inspired
probably influenced it a little.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
The Strokes' new album, I forget what it's called.
That song, by the way, was
2021, I think.
Yeah,
I think it was
I would say
2020.
So
2020
or that came out with like
I think it might have been
right
2020 actually.
Yeah, because we recorded.
By
the way, we recorded the first version, I think, at the other house, right?
Yeah, and then we had to re-record.
Yeah,
and then we re-recorded it.
Yeah,
I think it was like too slow or something.
It was and I think you wanted to sharpen up your drum playing.
Yeah,
you were like you like I thought it was fine. I think everyone else was like I thought it was fine, but when
that's
you were
another
like
thing with the project taking so long too. I feel like is I get to a point with some of these songs where I'm like, oh, I could play it so much better now. And
we should release that other version one day because like it had its own like thing to it. It had its own little specialness.
I think it was ever so slightly faster. Actually,
no, I think it was
or slower.
It was slower. Yeah,
it was one of the things. It was like it was tempoed up or down, and it definitely was ever so slightly different.
A fun fact about that song though is that was like a 20-minute song. Like that shit just poured out of me. Like right when I found that like like that just. The rest of it just came, and then we worked on it. We had practice the next day, and we all finished it that day. Actually,
wow!
Too. So that was one of the quickest songs that we.
That was like Shoelace
put together.
Too. Shoelace was like that.
Shoelace is low key, not even low key. Shoelace is my favorite, actually.
Yeah.
Still is.
I feel like that's just what happens. Like those
you
are
were
the
telling
songs
us that
people
a while
really
ago.
like and are drawn to. Is those ones that are just like we all just get together and like basically write it from start to finish, like in that session. You know,
I usually aim for trying to write. When I try to write a song, I try to capture that. Like lightning in a bottle, kind of like if I get an idea, I try to just get it down. Like I was kind of comparing it to fishing the other day. It's like you cast your line out and then you play for a couple hours and you wait for it to get a bite. And as soon as you get a bite, you got to reel it in and write that song or whatever. You know what I mean?
True. Sometimes you're just kind of in the zone. You got to just like take advantage of it. You know.
And those are all the best songs. Like all of our best songs have been written like it's like as if I was just like I found the song. You know what I mean? It's not as if I like even like wrote it. Like it just I stumbled upon it and then we work on it and then boom.
Wrote itself.
Yeah, usually they write themselves in a way. And that's what I tried to do with all of these.
Same thing with like just like naming.
I was about to say
like the name of the band that just kind of like
it just happened.
Like I feel like certain like you ever just like randomly like oh shit this is a good song name, write it down and then just like at some point we'll use it. But I feel like that type of shit like
when we were coming up with album names, I just made a list of all these potential album names and just cool words that I kind of like. And now I have a list of song names that we won't be doing the song 1 through 12.
Dude, it is so funny to me that you guys like just know them by number and oh yeah, song 9.
Well, if we did another song 1, it's like we already know what song 1 was. That would, if we did a whole nother list of an album 1 through 12 like that, it would be a double nightmare because we would be mixing up from the first time. You know what I mean? So we can't do that again.
Yeah, that's definitely a one and done thing.
Which if no one knew, that's what we did. We didn't name any of the songs till after like a year later or some shit.
Yeah.
And like we named reruns, and then the rest just didn't have names or whatever.
Yeah, they would get names like
as we were releasing
as you're releasing them. Yeah.
And like Shoelace just got called Shoelace because I made a video about shoes, kind of.
Yeah.
And like I had like before doing that, I thought Shoelace would be a cool song name.
Yeah.
So I had it in a list, and I was like, oh, well, there we go.
Yeah, and that's another video I like too because it's like following the story of like the shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to be like artsy with it.
Yeah. It came across. Not too artsy though. I wasn't trying too hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah, it wasn't.
There
like,
are artsy films that
it's not like that,
hard.
but I was trying to be more of like a standout artistic thing than like because it doesn't show anyone's face or nothing. It's just shoes. So that's kind of the artisticness of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. How did you guys? We kind of talked about picking the album name. When was the time where you were like, "It's the Runs"? Like I don't like.
Oh,
what was
so
that
we needed
day?
to come up with the name to be released with Shoelace. So that's why we're like, we need to release Shoelace. We need to come up with a name or whatever.
We needed to get the album cover.
we needed to make the cover, send out for everything to be made.
Yeah, the album cover was pretty contingent on what it was going to be called.
Okay.
The Runs and this cover, I had this idea like years ago, and it was just kicking around in my head. Here we go. So we can see it. This was kicking around in my head for years, and I kind of wanted to use it for something, maybe an EP or something.
Yep.
Yeah, but for the longest time, we thought that it was too much of a joke, and we wanted to be make a little more of a serious statement by coming up with a really cool album name.
But then we changed our minds.
We just never did.
Oh.
We never came up with a good enough idea that like stuck. And this already had a name and a cover, so we were like, all right, let's just go shoot the cover, see how it looks. And then once we did, and it came out good, we were like, all right, it's the Runs.
Okay.
And that was like
Kinda
maybe a
doubles as
couple weeks before the announcement of Shoelace.
Wow. Okay. That's dope.
I also brought you guys, I brought you a copy of the record, and I
let's see.
I brought you both a copy of the CD.
Oh hell
Let's
yeah!
do this here. I'm gonna snag
Here's
it.
some
Yeah, I'll take
CDs.
that.
Oh, there you go. I brought one to open and we can look at. And then there's also some posters here too.
This is dope.
Posters.
Oh,
Yeah, we got
here we go.
posters.
tight.
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
You see there?
Let's,
Show it off for the
Yeah,
camera.
yeah,
Oh, wait,
I'll
move
put
it.
it on my
Oh, okay, there you go.
Also, this photo's sick. Orifice
All right.
Records.
So,
And then here's your vinyl.
yep. So we'll show the poster. There we go. Well, not so.
Dude, this is awesome.
And then,
This is a sweet photo.
That's the back of the album.
Front and back. Yeah.
very cool.
And I like how the oh yeah, it says a
Oh,
track
wait a minute.
list.
Also, I feel like I have to. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Oh, it's baseball card?
I feel like it works though. You know, like the runs kind of doubles as like a,
It's home runs and the runs.
and then yeah,
That's why I went with the baseball thing. That's why the whole like
this is sick.
concept was like, it was like in my head for a while. Wait, and whatever. Do whatever you want.
What? Are you saying like don't
I was
open
gonna
it?
say like slide. You want to like take a razor blade and just like slide the side over, and then keep
Let
the
him
plastic
open
on.
his vinyl
'Cause it keeps-
wherever he
Oh,
wants.
It keeps
keeps
the
it-
cover like nice.
Okay,
You
I
don't get
was about
scratched
to-
up
Go
and
get a
shit.
razor blade. No,
Okay.
yeah.
Do what
All
you
well, I'll
want,
open it
Randy.
later.
You can use
I do-
your. I got this
Tear
one
it
if you wanna
open,
look at
enjoy
it.
it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. Hold
yours.
up, because I just want to show the camera, what the actual, because it's not just a black piece of vinyl.
No, yeah, go
Like,
ahead.
and that's kind of like the cool part.
We got a lot
about
of cool
this.
little things on there too.
I'll just go put this in my car. Oh,
Oh no!
Wah, wah.
that's right.
R.I.P.
Too soon.
Yeah, what?
Wow.
There's a little
Dude,
etching
that's
too.
sick.
If you look at the etching on the groove, like closest to the label, it says use this as a frisbee, and on the other side
And
it's
it's made out of recycled condoms.
oh yeah, it says that on the
Really?
yeah, it says that on the
Fucking
paper
way.
sleeve.
Yeah, we go around town and
Throw this record out.
Yeah,
we,
it says-
dump, we
it says
dumpster
that on one
dive. We
side, on the
dumpster
other
dive
side it
for
says it
For used
condoms,
condoms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then we have to
Nice.
ship that out to like the manufacturing plant.
Oh
Tight,
wow!
tight.
So, in the actual back of this has all of the lyrics on it too.
yeah, in the credits and like yeah, and the front has some like jokes in fine print.
There we go. I was making sure my name was spelled right.
Oh, it's there. Yeah, I'm the worst at spelling.
2 R's.
Don't worry, we double checked everything. We still
Oh,
have
look
a
at the
little-
track listing. On
yeah.
the
There's
sleeve
still some
too.
mistakes on there.
This is sick.
Song 6, I think.
He's
is
really dyslexic.
mixed up.
Like it's actually real.
Oh, just like
No, keep going. It's like 5 and 6. I think are swapped.
Goes 4, 6,
Oh
5.
yeah, that's right. That's funny.
That's
Yeah,
not right. It's
4,
not funny.
6, 5, 7.
We'll do a reprint
Yeah,
eventually.
That's how you know you got the
Oops.
first press.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's
that's
gonna be a
pretty
rare
cool, though.
collectible now.
Wow.
So yeah, it's on transparent blue vinyl. Makes it way cooler to look at when it's spinning.
Yeah, no, I think that's sweet. I mean, what even goes through your head? Like, why?
We
Like,
do have a record player too.
I know we do. I need to actually whip that out. But in a time where, like, you know, I guess like records are kind of like people are buying them because kind of like nostalgia and stuff. But
They're
like,
coming back, and I'm also getting into them myself. My
Well-
dad's also a huge record head.
but
So
like, in something in particular, like like CDs. Do you think of like making CDs because you think that it's going to be the only CD in someone's car? Do you know what I mean?
no, I don't think. I mean, this is
Because
just.
like I haven't bought a CD since like early 2000s.
these are just for anybody who wants them. It's not
Yeah.
like I don't really expect.
it's a way to
sell a ton of
support the
these.
band.
Okay, yeah,
It's a way to
that's
support-
that's like
It's a cool
that's what I mean. Yeah.
collector's item, and we packed a ton of shit. This isn't just like it's not like some plain thing. We have tons of
shit.
cool little things, lots of funny little jokes. If you flip over the cover, what you could do is you could take the booklet and you take the back and you fold it over in case you don't want anybody to listen to your scooped up CD. You do that, and it says elevator hits of the 80s, and you throw that back in. And now you got elevator hits of the 80s. No one's going to open this shit. You know what I mean? No one's going to listen to that.
Oh my God.
So that's how you could hide your
That's so
scooped up
funny.
CD. You could
That's-
also cut out pictures of us and you could stick them to your fingers, and then you could have some friends to listen to the album.
Yeah, it's-
Tight.
So,
I was
we
looking
got
for one or two
there's
of
reasons to
those.
buy this. What do you mean?
I'm so sorry. I'm so
You're
sorry.
saying CDs are
I
obsolete?
completely
So
forgot about the
short-sighted
finger
of you.
puppet idea. My bad.
So short-sighted of you. You thought this was just a
You
CD.
think we're a bunch of smucks? Come on.
So wait a minute. Okay, so who goes? Are you guys? Jimmy, let these guys answer. Are you guys like?
shut up.
Are you guys like working with him on these, or is he like, hey guys? So by the way, the CD it's gonna have finger puppets in it.
The second one.
The
Second one.
Yeah. So he just shows up with
He
the
just
answers.
does things.
He just does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
we
that's
just
sick,
kind of
though.
say like if we want something on
And-
something specific to us, like the baseball cards.
Okay.
It was
Was that so? The baseball card was a collaborative based thing.
Oh, that was Jesse's idea to do the baseball cards, and then I did.
Yeah, no, that's my wife's idea.
I did. Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
And then I did all the graphic design, and then we decided what the they all have stats on the back, so we all kind of like spitballed ideas for what the stats
Pac-Man
would be.
high score 6969.
Hold up, I gotta see these now.
Biggest
Hold up.
poop,
Yeah, check those
1
out.
pound. That's
Biggest
pretty
poop,
solid, dude.
Hold up.
We got all the stats that
Pretty
matter.
solid. I love
All
that.
the stats that matter.
Jaywalking.
Very.
All the
No,
stuff.
it just fits the theme of the album so well.
Yeah,
that
it's
It
perfect.
does, dude. This is sick.
It's just a cool
Dude,
little.
watch
like,
out for
fun
Jimmy.
thing.
The biggest poop is 1 ton.
Yeah, watch out.
A
Holy-
6-ounce sirloin.
I actually need to use your
That's-
bathroom after this. But
Dude,
yeah,
that's
those are and they're cheap
hilarious.
too. They're only $1. If someone wants to like buy that pack, it's $1, or they get it for free with
Dude, you
with
can
any
eat the
purchase.
ass of a fly. That's crazy.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry.
I can
What
show
does
you
it say?
later.
What does it
It
say?
takes some precision.
It's on Jesse's.
Please.
It says he could eat the ass off a fly.
I'll show you guys later off camera.
Cat dad has taste buds in his butt. Oh, that's unfortunate.
It's pretty good.
So
You would
again,
think it's unfortunate, but
just
But
bud.
really,
Spicy food is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's spicy
it's the gift
two
that,
round
that keeps
two.
on giving.
It's the gift that keeps on
That
giving.
is hilarious. So again, like, do you guys just like get together? You're like, all right, like, you know, like,
What?
do you like get together and you're just like, all right,
Every
so
practice
baseball
session, we have like kind of like a band debrief on
Yeah,
what we should be
yeah, we got a
doing.
band meeting every time we meet up.
chill and bullshit probably way more than we should when we get together.
No, but that's great,
But,
dude. That's what keeps you guys. You guys have been together for so long.
No, we come
like
up with
that's part
a
of
lot
it. You
of
know?
ideas.
That's
Yeah.
when we come up with all the ideas, or like if I have an idea, that's when we'll like talk about it. And
Yeah,
shit.
it's a collective effort. You know, like someone will think of something, and then when we get together, we'll kind of just throw things around, and then like I'll say something sometimes, or he'll say something, and then that sparks something.
Right.
In
Right.
someone else's head, and then that's how we come up with some of our good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting too because like I feel like so many people are like trying to do the like, is this the song of the summer TikTok kind
I've
of
done
thing?
that video too.
I know
And
you
then
have.
it was me
but
pissing.
Yes, it was dude. Yeah. Which is like that's what I fucking love about you guys is like there's just like this like real appreciation for like just funny, not taking yourselves like too seriously and like doing stuff that I think is legitimately fun and entertaining, as opposed to like these like weird TikToks.
Yeah, that's at the end of the day. It's like this is why, like me personally, this is why I'm playing drums. This is why I play music and playing a band. It's just fun. you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, like you're saying, like we try not to take ourselves too serious, except for like when it comes to like
Performing.
performing,
Yeah, right.
executing.
But at the same time, we don't
which
take
makes
ourselves that
sense.
serious then either.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like you take the craft
Let me
and the
speak
music.
for myself.
Yeah, yeah. No, but like I
Whoa.
know what you're saying. You take like the craft, how you play,
Yeah,
the performance of it
At
seriously.
the end of the day,
but
for
it's
me,
like,
what
yeah.
the most important thing is putting on a good performance for the people that took time out of their day.
Yeah.
to come see
100%.
us.
Yeah.
And then also to have as much fun as I can.
Right,
You know?
right. So speaking of performances, actually, you guys got an album release show coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, this
Oh.
Saturday, January 13th. There it is. Read them and weep.
Put it closer to your face
no
because
one's
I
gonna
think
see
the
anything
camera's
you're
like.
holding up. It's
little-
gonna be blurry, dude.
Yeah, there you go.
Read that and
January
weep.
13th.
Cry.
Yeah,
Have them put it in post. Put it in post.
Put it
Yeah.
in post.
yeah.
Anyway,
Probably drop after
Cafe
the
9.
show.
Your editor's
Oh, no,
gonna
I'm
have
gonna
his
try
hands
and- I'm
full.
gonna have- never mind. But yeah, someone's
Yeah,
else is
Cafe
gonna-
9 New Haven, this Saturday, January 13th. We're having our album release show. It's going to be the biggest, craziest, sickest, stupidest show ever. And
Yeah, how big is that venue? Because like I feel like
Small.
it's I was gonna
No.
say like I feel like
Not-
it's kind of a
not
small
big.
venue, but like it's gonna be so packed that it's gonna be like
yeah, we're going to try to
perfect.
pack the shit out of it. And last 2 times we played there, we did pack the shit out of it. But I think
Okay.
this time we're going to really pack it up.
Yeah.
And we got our friends. We got
It's gonna be a fire code hazard.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be unsafe.
we got our friends from
dude.
Sunday
People are
morning, and
gonna
we got
be-
Oh,
shortwave.
hell yeah.
And
Nice.
Just kidding.
oh
by
yeah,
the
you
way.
guys know Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Randy.
A little
That's how
bit.
we met Randy.
Yeah.
Just through Sunday morning.
Years and years ago, dude. That's
Yep.
back when Sunday Morning was doing songs like collectively, which I don't even think is that even on Spotify still?
No,
I
they
think
yeah
they
they
took
don't.
it down, but
They took it down?
They need to bring it back though. That
That's
was my
crazy. Why would
first
they take it
song.
down? It
Oh,
doesn't
they're
match our
just-
sound.
well, they got rid of that other guy that was in the band. and
Riddle
now
us
they-
that Sunday morning.
Oh, but but yeah, we also
I know
got,
you're
But it's part of
watching.
history. I don't know. I feel like it's deleting history.
we also
a
got
little
Point
bit.
Radar on the bill too. I
Yeah,
don't want
why
to
are
forget
you
about them.
deleting history?
Yeah,
It's a great
because we
song.
did, and I don't blame them because like maybe
Put
they
it
didn't
back
like the
up.
sound of the albums that we did together. But they had taken down all those other songs we did too. But that was probably because that was like I kind of get
They've
that.
leveled up in a sense, I mean, they like, I mean, we kind of look at our first album as like, I mean, we could have been better. We are better now.
Yeah,
like,
definitely, dude. I mean, you had a song on there that was called Skate 1 and Skate 2 that was just like, skate.
Yeah.
Skate.
Yeah, but did anyone else make that song?
No one did, dude.
No.
You guys did.
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
therefore, it's good.
We had to.
Did we have crabs on there?
We made
Somebody
crabs.
had
No, we
to
never
make
released
Skate 1
crabs.
We had a song about getting crabs.
Yeah. It was good. It was actually a pretty good
It's
song.
relatable.
It is relatable.
Well, I think
For most people.
what's your top
Skip
song
the
off the
song.
first album? Is it Weed Song?
It'd be Weed Song
Yeah,
or Delete
definitely.
This. I think it's Weed. It's Weed Song, definitely. Yeah.
I know. What's funny is I remember my younger brother when he had seen the music video for both like Weed Song and Delete This. Like he loved you guys. That was like a big
That's
selling
awesome.
point for him.
Oh yeah. No,
And I mean,
love
he
that.
was young when he saw those videos, though. Like, because I mean, he's like in
He
senior
was
high school
impressionable.
now.
He was stupid. Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
he got
Well,
into
he
it.
was like the
So I made him
perfect-
watch Weed Song on repeat for hours.
Yeah, so-
You would just get
Now he's got a
weed.
serious problem.
Yeah, he's in jail. Actually,
I committed-
No, I'm
smoke
kidding.
weed.
I
Yeah.
committed
He's
murder
doing
in
great.
both those videos. I dropped the TV on like one character, and then like I ran someone over and delete this.
Oh yeah,
These guys are trying to set me up.
That's funny.
This is not legal or financial advice or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that is funny because like it's crazy because as long as I've known you guys, which has been since Sunday Morning introduced us way back, and you guys were recording stuff and sending it to me.
Yeah.
Remember that? Like all the drums were recorded.
Yeah,
Where did you record those drums?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, like, 'cause, like, dude, I remember that.
in my basement.
Yeah.
I had, like,
no,
some
not that thing,
Dude, I had a
dude.
shitty computer. I think you came by one time to
yeah,
look
I've
at my
seen that
setup, and
place.
you were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, dude, because it was
After
just
that, you were
concrete
like,
walls.
"We're
You were
gonna
there
do this
once?
at my house."
You were there once?
Yes,
Yeah.
I went there because we were going to be like, oh, let's see if we could record the drums here again.
Oh
and,
no way.
And I showed up and I was like, abso-fucking-lutely
It's funny
not.
too. On our first album credits, I'm credited as like being like the recording engineer.
Oh, nice,
which I think is
dude.
so
Well,
fucking
so
funny.
do you, but like it's
Yeah.
him
Yeah,
too.
yeah, because
So
the
funny.
drums all came
Yeah,
from
because
there.
I think did I do the vocals or did you did the vocals?
Yeah,
right?
we re-recorded everything
Guitar
because he
and-
initially
Oh,
had
okay,
sent
yeah,
over
yeah.
guitar and stuff, and I was like, Jimmy, like,
No,
just
that was a
come on
great
by.
learning lesson.
We used
for
Walter's
me.
bass
I
recordings
was like,
though.
I'm not an engineer.
We had direct recordings for the bass, so we used those still.
Oh, you're right.
Because he left the band, and then then Leo recorded his parts,
Okay,
probably over with you.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I think, yeah, I would imagine.
I think
Yeah.
we re-recorded a lot of stuff. I remember that just because, like, the nature of it all.
Yeah, it's so far back, I can't really
Yeah, I had
remember
a
now.
shitty laptop and a shitty program I had no business of using. I was like, I don't know what I'm
You got the
doing.
job done though.
Yeah, I guess so we met after Leo joined the band, huh?
Yeah, because I never met the other guy.
Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
And
then,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure when you were coming over my house,
Oh,
you
wow.
were saying like, "Oh yeah, we have a new bassist," things like that,
Okay.
and we're gonna be a 3-piece now,
Yeah.
or maybe you were a 3-piece
we
Yeah,
just
before.
we were always a 3-piece.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we had an old other bass player who quit the band, and then it was in the middle of recording that album. So I wasn't sure if we did the same thing with this album, where we started some of it with you, and then
Oh,
like
yeah.
later on did
Mm.
I don't know, you know?
Yeah, that could have happened.
It didn't though. That's we met after he left or after he joined. So
Okay.
yeah,
Now, Leo, I know you are a fantastic guitar player too, like a nutty good guitar player. So like,
A
How
little
do
out
you-
of shape, but thank you.
yeah. But as far as like, do you translate a lot of the things you like to play on guitar to the way that you play bass? Because
Yes.
like a lot of it seems really technical from my side.
Yeah, so like that's the ongoing battle, like when I'm coming up with parts for these songs, right? Because like I don't want to abandon like everything I learned on guitar entirely. I want to take some of that with me where it makes sense. But sometimes I'll get like too into like trying to write something like a little overly technical and like try to reel myself back in and say this is kind of taking away from the bass's like foundational role in supporting the rhythm section. So it's always about maintaining that fine balance between the two, right? Because like when I joined, right, I had like this mindset, kind of like a negative attitude towards bass players unless they were like really sick. Like I don't know where this idea came from.
It's called being younger, dude.
Yeah, it
I
might
had
have
a
been
lot
from
of these.
some friends too. Like
Yeah.
whenever there's like 3 guitar players starting a band with a drummer and a vocalist maybe, and there's no bass player, the guy who ends up playing bass is the
have to
guy
draw
who
straws.
sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy who ends up
I
playing
literally saw a
bass.
meme the other
Yeah.
day of this. Yeah.
So when I started playing with this band, I was like, that's not going to happen to me. I'm going to like try and find a way to make my talent shine a little bit without being too in your face.
Yeah. Like I think Best Days is a really good example of like a time that we get to see the bass like shine super up front.
Another really good example, right in the beginning when we wrote Weed Song together, the bass line that he wrote to Weed Song is like, so it makes the song for me. That's just so fucking good. And like,
it's what made them decide to keep me.
Well, it wasn't like we
they
needed
didn't have
him.
a choice, dude.
Yeah, we needed him. But that definitely like sealed the deal. It was like, dude, he's such a perfect fit because me and him grew up listening to the same type of music, and like, so what he brought to the table has always been good. It used to be kind of like we would kind of like push and pull with Walter all the time because he would kind of play too much. So it'd be like, oh,
it's kind of tough, dude. It's tough to like walk. I feel like it's tough to walk that line of like adding flair, but like you don't want to take away from the other shit.
Exactly.
Like
and pop punk, like maybe not necessarily pop punk, but punk itself like has a lot of like really notable bass players. Like there's a lot of people that took influence from going into the band and still like try to get ideas from like Joe Raposo from RKL, Rich Kids on LSD, in terms of like, I don't know all his songs and like all his best parts, but I just know that he's an example of like how high you can set the bar in terms of what you can get away with in punk rock on bass.
I always liked Face to Face's bass lines.
Yeah, I don't remember who that guy is, but I also like his lines.
Very good.
My biggest influence on punk bass is Matt Freeman from Rancid, though. He ever since I was like in middle school.
Yeah, because like the thing is with a 3-piece band is the bass is no longer like a typical pop punk band where you have 2 guitar players and a bass player, and the bass ends up just kind of being like a single note version of the guitar. In this type of band, as a bass player, you're given lots of room to shine.
Yeah,
and like
it's necessary too.
Yes, and it's like it's literally necessary.
Yeah, and there's some songs where like I really don't mind like dialing it back and just playing the root notes and maybe like adding a little like second interval in there, major third or something like that, because I've been really like trying to focus on like the quality of our live performances and my stage presence too, because Jimmy is doing a great job holding it down up front too, but he's also glued to the mic for a lot of songs. So
I can't really be jumping around too much.
Yeah.
And like I've been really into like just taking the deep dive and looking at like hardcore live videos the past year and a half.
Doing
like,
his homework.
I've been binging like the Hate 5-6 videos. Jimmy got me into No Pressure like towards the end of like 2020.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. He's wearing it too.
Yeah.
He started calling everybody posers and pussies.
Yeah, he's a real hardcore kid now, baby.
He's an asshole now.
I have not paid any dues to wear that label. So.
But yeah, a lot of times I feel like we will make the songs a little too hard for ourselves, and then once we start actually playing them all the time, we're like, fuck, why do we do this to ourselves?
It's like tough to animate yourself on stage because you're just like, fuck.
I think that's why Leo is saying he wants to dial it back a little bit, because we put some real hard parts in some of our songs where, we have to really like focus on it, and especially when we're playing so fast, for it to not sound like junk,
Yeah, because you do want the sound together.
Yeah, but some of the stuff that Jimmy shared with me in terms of new song ideas for what I think we want to do for like a potential EP in the future, I'm already like trying to like, I don't want to say reinvent the wheel, but like I'm trying to like do stuff that's a little outside the box without making it sound too complicated. So I'm already having issues trying to like reel myself back in, not trying to like, I don't know, write something overly complicated.
What you made for that first song that we're working on already like fits great. Like every time I listen to my recording of it without bass, I hear his bass line in my head. And I'm just like,
nice.
It always feels like it's missing something.
Yeah. Well, almost. Yeah. So.
Yeah, one of the things too, and I know we got to like wrap up pretty soon just for the sake of cameras here. But the one thing that I thought was really unique about recording with you guys, there's 2. One is that no click track for this album at all, which is like for a lot of recording engineers would freak out. Me a little bit, because it does get a little stressed when like we have a part where it's like, and I forget what song does this, but like it starts and then it has a long fade out, and then your vocals come in, and then the drums come back in. What song is that?
That's probably Lightheaded.
Yeah,
I think it happens twice.
There's a few sections where we do that, and how we do this, by the way, credit to Jesse here, is we track all the drums pretty much live with. He has Jimmy's guitar playing at the same time with him in his head, and then what happens is in post we have to go in back to redo all the instruments, and they play to the drums without a click track or anything, which is usually not the case, by the way. Usually there's a boop, boop, boop.
Do you ever like
boop, and
start something like that with a click track and then just shut it off after that?
He usually just counts in.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So like, and then, but what'll happen that gets tough is that if there's a song where there's a break and then there's just vocals and guitar, Jimmy in post is sort of recreating his rough performance in a new way so that it still lands on beat with the previously recorded drums.
Maybe not the most effective way.
No, but it's definitely, what I'll say is that I think.
fucking pulled it off, baby.
Yeah, we did.
I will say, actually, we were talking about it. Sorry to cut you off.
No, go for it.
We actually talked about this somewhat recently, and maybe like, maybe next time around, I was like, I could maybe like give the click track a try at least.
Yeah, I think it's.
I'm kind of interested. Most of it's just been like kind of like stubbornness on my part, I would say. And like I think
it's cool though. I think it's cool we've done it without it, just because it has a little more of a raw feel.
I liked it because with other bands that I've recorded like EPs and singles and stuff with before, we did it always just all of us in a room recording live. That's
the track.
And then
wow.
we would add on vocals like afterwards.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we would do it, and I really liked that. And I just liked like the raw kind of feel and energy to it. And it was like kind of impressive too that we sat there, and one of the bands I was in was like a progressive metal band. So we had like 15-minute, 20-minute long songs. And we're trying to record all in one go, 100% it.
And that's what we did with the Surf Ave EP is we recorded it all together.
That's how we did with the Surf Ave EP, because like that's just like kind of what I knew, like that's just what I was doing, you know, at that time. And like that's definitely kind of like amateurish, like beginner musician, and you know, kind of like
first intro to recording
vibes. That's why I'm like, maybe like recording to a click wouldn't be the worst thing.
But this dude's tight enough to pull it off.
I was gonna say it is kind of badass that like because it does sound good, and like you're obviously like a fantastic drummer. So
kind of forces me to be on my A game.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Yeah,
and there's moments too, and like I think when I said this, Jimmy was like, "Oh no," but for me, I actually liked it, which is like there are moments where you have a natural human swell. So like you'll kind of notice like. To
natural peaks and valleys.
Yeah, like to an average listener, they're probably not going to be able to tell what I'm talking about. But you can tell that it's like not on a click at times, in the sense of like there are parts that if you were to put a BPM to it, it's probably 0.5 off.
Yeah,
compared to the chorus that's 0.5 up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's these little things, but in a way, it gives this very special, unique human characteristic to the whole album.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just like pockets, right? And then it probably comes back in. You know? So
yeah. And the other thing that I think is really crazy, not crazy, but something that like is not something that is typical, is Jimmy was saying, I want this to sound the same if someone has a broken headphone. So like when I was mixing, and so it's funny that it's like first time you're hearing this. So when I was mixing, a lot of times I usually love using like the stereo space, like the left is doing something different than the right. And maybe some sort of fun things are happening in between. But Jimmy was like, well, no, like what if someone has a broken headphone? And I was like, well, that's a really...
Bro, I always had broken headphones growing up. So I hated when songs had that. I'd be listening with one headphone. I'd be like, where the hell did the riff go? And then like, you know what I mean? And realize that it's like the whatever. But we would do one guitar on one side and then another re-recorded guitar on the other side. So it wasn't like...
No, it's just what all it is that no matter what headphone you have in your ear, aside from the toms are the only ones that have any sort of variable spatial. Like, so like, you know, like your highest tom is on the top left and your middle. And
that's probably good.
Yeah. But otherwise that's the only thing. Everything else is like, you know, the two rhythm guitars are the same guitar that he tracked twice. Yeah. And then the lead is always in the center. Always in the center.
I would never want a lead in the right or something like that. And some
or like
bands
a lead that sweeps or anything like that, or vocals that
all
sweep.
Bands really did it, right?
Yeah.
Not all bands.
That's how it was recorded back in the day.
Well, you'd be surprised if you throw on like a Beatles record, they played a lot with panning. So you'll have songs where the drums are all in the right ear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they did that.
I feel like
that was normal practice back then.
Back in the day.
Almost like they maybe even, I'm not like an audiophile or anything like that, but maybe like they had limitations with their equipment. They had to do it like that, I'd imagine. Right?
It was mono limited for a while.
Yeah.
So for a while,
that's why you listen to the Doors album. It's all the drums and like, you know, keyboards are in the left. And
because it was sort of, I think, if I'm not mistaken, a little bit newer to have. Like it was more common for everyone to have a set of stereo speakers, as opposed to everything coming out mono.
Right. That's why vinyl, like stuff recorded back then that goes on vinyl, it was meant for vinyl, recorded for it. That's why it sounds so good on vinyl. You know, like not that like our vinyl sounds awesome on you know on a system as well, but it's like something that was recorded specifically for that, it just has a completely different sound to it.
Yeah, dude, you need to get a record player if you don't got one, because this thing sounds so good compared to the CD. The vinyl sounds
really rich, right?
Yeah, it's just amazing. Yeah,
I'll definitely. We have one. I haven't set it up.
Yeah, you gotta
really
get some good speakers too, or if you got good speakers, but set them up with that, and it sound great.
Yeah, I'd have to. I'll get some sort of setup. I'm actually thinking of a spot where I might want to put the actual record player, but kind of like rounding things up, because it has been a little bit over an hour. Do you guys have any things that you guys think you want to talk about before we head out, or anything you think we missed that you wanted to chat about?
Anything to plug? You guys?
We got a tour coming up. We're about to announce a new tour. We got 14 dates.
Okay.
All over the East Coast. Not all over the East Coast, but the tri-state.
Give some states we're going to.
Oh, we're going to New Haven.
New Haven.
Hell yeah.
So far away.
New Haven, USA.
We're going 20 minutes away. No, we're going to New Jersey twice. We're going to Massachusetts twice.
Nice.
New Hampshire. New York City.
Did you say Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania.
Oh,
nice. We're going to Philly also, which is also in Pennsylvania. But we're going to deep Pennsylvania, then we're going to Philly. So 2 dates.
Yeah, Pennsylvania's huge. You don't realize how big that state is until you go to drive through it.
Yeah.
Market.
We booked this tour ourselves. It's the first time we ever booked our own tour, and it was a lot of logistics.
So what do you mean? Like, what do you guys usually do? You guys go through
usually people will hit us up for shows.
Yeah, we play like little one-off out-of-state shows here and there.
Yeah, if we're playing out of state, it's usually like a friend of ours that or a band that we have been following back and forth. Will be like, "Yo, come play with us," and then we'll trade shows or something like that. This time I went and set up. We picked all the dates we wanted, and I just hit up all these venues, and we're trying to play a show. I would just make a thing. I'd copy and paste. I'd be like, "Hey, I'm Jimmy. I represent the band Scooped Up. We're booking our tour for our new album that's coming out, and we're coming through town. We have all these dates, whatever." And then I'd ask, try to get a venue to lock down a date. Once I get that, I find a local band that's from that area, ask them if they could do it, and if they can do it, or even if they can't, I ask them what bands that they know from the area that that would actually draw some people that would fit too. And that's how I did it. And it was just it was a cool thing, because every time I would get a venue or get a band, I was like, yes. So it was just all these things piling up, and now we finally got it all situated. We're gonna announce that in a couple of days. It'll probably be already announced by the time this comes out. But yeah,
nice.
We're stoked on that. It starts off with the album release show, and then after that, we're gonna be doing a house show in Milford. That's all ages, because the album release show is 21 and up. So the house show will be all ages. So if you're 20 or 19 or whatever.
January 13th, Cafe 9 in New Haven.
Yeah, that's right.
If we said it already.
That's the release show. Yeah, that's at Cafe 9 in New Haven, January 13th.
The release show. And
then we're doing the house party on February 3rd. And then after that, we're going to be on the road for 3 months. And then we're doing a 420 house party for a comeback.
You guys are busy. I love it.
That's awesome.
So we got all the way up until April.
Jimmy.
We're booked. So,
wow.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah. And then in between that, we're going to be working on these new songs and try to get something done. Our next project will be out next year, because we have at least, we have a whole year of 2025, you know what I mean? Because it's just January right now.
Yeah.
So we have
or
over
2024, you mean, you're saying? You have a whole year.
I want to release it in 2025.
Oh, that's what
we have January through all of 2025 to get that shit done, out. We have all this year to get it done.
Now, God, this might open a whole new thing, but are you guys do you guys think you're going to stay independent and stuff like that? I know that's a big convo to have, but
we want it. We're in talks and stuff. There are record labels that are interested in shit, but we just want a really lucrative deal that's worth it.
I would say never say never. If something seems like it's a right fit for us, then yeah, absolutely. Keep all options on the table. Really,
it's just that we're in the position.
But we're not in a rush to just hand off a
piece of the cake.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what it is.
That's smart.
I mean, you guys are building still, and you just
who knows
better.
What we're gonna be doing in 6 months. If we sign a contract now and we blow up, we could have owned that whole blow upness or whatever. If it happened organically,
I know what you mean,
or whatever, blow upness. Because we're doing so much ourselves that it could just happen by ourselves. We don't really need a label unless they're gonna give us tons of money and it's worth it.
I don't want this to also turn into not being fun or enjoyable.
Yeah.
Right.
If it could be a job or a career, absolutely, that'd be a beautiful thing. But if I don't want to sign away our soul.
Yeah, right now we're making no money. So, signing away 50% of no money is not a big deal. But as soon as we start making money.
Then it becomes a big deal.
Yeah.
Especially because I've been hearing a lot of shit about these live venues where they're also taking
merch cuts.
taking merch
that's
cuts.
viral everywhere.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I thought like that's like the whole. It's like
like
how
the
you
whole
make
thing.
We
money
play small
on
venues and
tours.
DIY spots, so we haven't seen faced that. But yeah, that's bullshit. I remember when I first heard about that, I'm like, that's robbery. Like,
Yeah, because
are you
they're
giving
already
us
getting
drink money.
Yeah, they're
for
already
drinks?
getting like the money from the alcohol, the actual ticket money.
Yeah.
Like they're only and bands can't even make money off streams now. So realistically, the only money that bands are making are off the t-shirts.
There's
And it's
good
like
money
the
to be
ticket-
made off streams, but you got to be getting millions of streams.
Millions and millions,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, Snoop
Snoop
Dogg was
Dogg-
talking
yeah, I
about
was
how
gonna
he had
say.
1 billion streams and made 40 grand.
That's because of his deal.
Yeah,
His
but like,
label.
okay, so but like, I
His
don't.
label probably spent 100 grand or whatever that year, and then
Right, and
had to
then he
recoup.
only got because I think the conversion was like 1 million
You standing
streams.
for the-
A
for
million
the
streams is
record companies?
$4,000.
I'm just saying that's the biz, man. What?
This is how
Is
it
it,
starts.
It's,
Leo, do you know this?
It
Is
starts like a tour manager,
$4,000
Jimmy,
for a
next
million
thing you know.
streams? Is that a
It's
thing?
3,000.
Oh, I don't know the specifics
Oh,
of
okay.
that.
It's
Okay.
It's 3,000.
Oh, it's 3,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So you'd have to get like even like 10 million
I
streams
thought it was
is
like
30 grand.
I think it was like 250 streams on Spotify for $1.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
yeah, it's $3,000 for 1 million streams.
Okay. So yeah, you got to be doing dummy numbers to make money off of streams, I guess.
Well, if you have a ton of songs,
Yeah, I
It
guess if you
adds
have a
up.
ton of songs.
if you have 50
yeah.
songs, divide that by
It's
a million.
absolutely
It's
the
not that
most
much.
lucrative way to make money as a band or artist is definitely playing shows, selling merch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spotify is like
Anything
for the
else
future.
is like
Yeah, I
peanuts.
guess so.
We
Right.
need to keep building the snowball. Once we have a big snowball, we'll be making some good streaming money. Like when we're old and we're like, you know,
Right. Yeah. Or if you can get like a
The
deal with a
streaming?
movie too. I feel like this is
That's a
something
good
that a
thing
lot
too.
of bands
Yeah.
are not
The-
thinking
yeah,
about is like trying to market their music towards like films and stuff because
well, we're just
like,
gonna make our own film and then do the soundtrack for that.
yeah. Yeah, it's like very
There you go.
possible. You can do that. I
Yeah.
mean, even look at like you can I feel like the world is in need of like just fun, simple, funny, stupid
Do like
movies.
one continuous
especially,
music
you know.
video that
I have
is
a
an
really good
entire
idea for a
album.
movie.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'll
you
tell
don't
you
have
about
to say
it. I'll tell you
here,
about it
but-
later, but
Yeah.
I do want to.
Because like
do
okay,
that.
think about like
I'm sorry. What were you saying?
oh,
I was saying like it would be like I wonder if anyone's done like one continuous music video that is like an entire album. Like,
Beyonce.
Yeah. Or like,
yeah, I guess that's
Yeah.
true.
That's the one that I can think of about
or
recently.
Pink Floyd or something. Haven't they done like full album visuals?
It's almost
might
like
have.
it would be like a musical. Like it's
Yeah.
technically a movie, I guess. At that point, it's just a musical that has a bunch of scooped up
Yeah,
songs.
Yeah,
you could also
that would be cool.
Yeah, of scooped up the musical. That's amazing.
I would like to do a movie where like
Scooped up on
some of our
ice.
songs are in
So
it, but
funny.
also we just compose instrumentals for it too. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah, like if
that
you have
is-
original like movie soundtracks,
yeah,
like
be
stuff.
cool.
Yeah,
you
that's smart. All right, well,
that'd be
before these cameras die here, plug yourselves.
Stream our album.
Yes,
The
yes,
Runs.
stream the
out
album.
now.
Where can they find you?
You go to
Everywhere.
Scooped Up Band. Just Google Scooped Up. Go to scoopedupband.com or ibrokeMyDick.com or
Scooped Up One on Instagram.
Scooped Up One on Instagram. Go to
'Cause
poopedup.com.
Someone has scooped up on Instagram.
That's crazy that guy
Yeah.
still hasn't responded.
We still
I
haven't been
know.
able to get
They
it.
haven't logged in since like 2010 or some shit.
2012.
Marathon, not a
That's
race.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
got 'em
holding
one
out.
day.
We're holding out.
Yeah.
High hopes. Maybe in another 10 years.
yeah, you'll get the official Instagram account.
Yeah. Thanks for
20,
anybody
25.
who made it this far and watched.
Yeah, we love y'all.
Go listen to our album, and if you have already, we love
Scooped
you.
Up The Runs.
We got more shit coming.
Buy that
January
shit.
13th.
Go see that shit.
Yeah, release show
Stream
January
that shit.
13th. We're gonna blow the lid off the door.
Lit off the door. Hell yeah. All right. On that.
Let's go.
I'll talk to you guys later.
That makes sense. All right.
Thanks so much. Frillo, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, seriously.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah.
It's always a good time.
Gracias.
Thanks so much for listening to Bone Apple Tea. If you like the show, please give us a follow, a like, comment, subscribe, whatever it is. Tell your friends about it. And make sure to follow us on Instagram. That's Bone Apple Tea V, BoneAppleTeav on Instagram. Thanks so much.